Hello and welcome to this episode of For the Love of Film 2.0. I'm your co-host, Garrett Briquette.
I'm your other co-host, Alicia Lucas.
And today we are talking about Marvel's Eternals. So let's review some stats real quick. The reviews on the tomato meter on Rotten Tomatoes is 47% for the critics and 80% for the audience.
Which is a huge difference. Very large difference.
Both are too high.
All right. Continue.
We'll get to that. We'll go on. So it grossed about $300 million, and its budget was about $200 million. So for back of the napkin math, you usually want to double the budget to account for marketing. So they lost about $100 million on this movie. That's pretty bad. I don't think we'll be seeing any more of these characters because of that, but let's not get into that yet, and let's move to the non-spoiler section of our review.
Wait,
first
how
of
do you
all,
feel
what do you think about
it?
the stats? Okay, yeah. They lost $100 million, so I don't think we'll be seeing any of these characters again, and if we do, they'll be in a small capacity. I don't think we'll get an Eternals 2. Point number 2, 47% and 80%, both way too high. I think the only audience that went to see this based off of the gross, still stumbling over my words, based off the gross, were like true diehard Marvel fans. And true diehard Marvel fans are going to look at this and go, Marvel, good. So that's where the 80% came from. And I think the critics were a bit more critical and actually looked at this movie for what it is. A pretty bad movie.
Yeah, I agree. I think that I would say that the 47% is pretty good. That's where I would rate it.
We'll see when you're done. When we're wrapping it up and stuff, when we put the stars.
But yeah, 47% makes a lot more sense than 80%. I think that I might agree with you in the sense that people just went Marvel pretty
good.
Good.
Which leads perfectly into our next point.
Go ahead.
All right, this movie.
So we're in non-spoiler review.
We're in non-spoiler review mode.
I'm gonna fall.
This movie and Marvel Shang-Chi kind of falls into this. Black Widow kind of falls into this. Very flat, one note visually, but also very beautiful, which is weird. So you have like these really intricate CGI designs, right? But it's all like a little bit too colorful.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to tell the difference between this character and this character and that character over there because they all have the same like suit on basically. So none of them are very distinct visually. Nothing is very distinct visually because when everything is beautiful, it all just melds together in a really ugly way. So this movie is beautiful, and when I said Shang-Chi and Black Widow, I didn't mean that they were bad movies, but Shang-Chi also falls into the beautiful category, but everything just sort of melds together in this ugly kind of colorful mismatch.
Yeah.
And
I think a good way that we like when we were thinking about that, I think either one of us mentioned like Iron Man, because in Iron Man it's like everything's so dark and dull and dreary, and then it progresses and you see how beautiful like the Mark II is, and just like how much it changes. But everything in this movie is so shiny and colorful and pretty, but everything being like that is kind of like, okay, so what's the bad part?
There's nothing to contrast it with. When you look at Iron Man in the beginning, he's gritty, he's got, strap metal stuck to him, and he's throwing flamethrowers everywhere. And then all of a sudden he drops down, he's in his beautiful Iron Man suit, red, gold, it's fantastic, he's flying around. He's shooting lasers. You see that progression.
Yeah.
And even then, when he's flying around in his colorful suit, he gets scratches, he gets dinged up. It looks real. It looks like it's bad. Shang-Chi and the Eternals both fall into the camp of they just went through the biggest fight of all time, fighting the most powerful thing in the entire world.
And they
then
have
at the
like
end, perfect
smudge
makeup
of dirt
and
or
a smudge
like
of dirt.
a little scratch somewhere, something
And
small.
Nothing. Like Iron Man, to keep the comparison going, there are other Marvel movies we could compare it to, but he looked like beat up at the end of the movie. He looked nearly defeated.
Yeah.
These characters look like this the entire movie.
Yeah.
There's no change at all. So that's where we'll end on that point.
Okay. Another non-spoiler thing. So multiple times throughout the movie, so when they came on Earth, they were like, it was like their first time like being there or whatever,
with
right?
Mesopotamia was
yeah.
there, yeah.
So then like 500, 600 years later, they're like, we've been here for 7,000 years.
Yeah.
And then another 600 years later, we've been here for 7,000 years. And every single time, they're just like, 7,000 years, 7,000 years. And we're just like,
guys, you've been
it's
here
Mesopotamia. You guys haven't been here for 7,000 years. Like, it's just like, there's no sense of time. I don't know. It was just really weird and kind of like, what?
It's like when they were writing the script, they kept having to ask, how long have they been there? It's like 7,000 years. Come on, how many times do we have to? It's like, I'm pretty sure I wrote down 7,000 years last time, but
yeah, exactly. That's literally how it was.
7,000 years. It's like there was a clear disconnect when writing a script.
Yeah.
It's so bad. Also,
bad.
Mesopotamia wasn't when humans arrived. They're supposed to. Never mind. We'll get to that when we go to spoiler section. That's not a spoiler at all, but we'll go to non-spoiler section. So my point is they retcon the MCU too much. They retcon the MCU so much. There are characters that have shown up in the MCU that should know about the Eternals and should know about the Celestials just based on how long they've been there, their role in the universe, their connection to everything. Nick Fury has never heard of the Eternals. They've never been mentioned except for once in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and again they were shown in Guardians of the Galaxy 1, so I guess reverse of that, but they were mentioned in Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
But on Earth, I think.
But on Earth, no one has mentioned the Celestials.
No one's mentioned any of them.
I
mean, they've been there for so long. I mean, someone even said in the movie, why didn't you guys
stop Thanos?
Yeah.
Or any of the other things.
And they gave a pretty valid reason for that, in my opinion. I mean, they were told not to do any, whatever. But, well, that was in the ad, so.
Yeah.
Or
it was in the trailers and everything. So, but even that, we could talk for hours about how that makes zero sense. Yeah. But we'll go on.
Backtracking, there was just a lot of backtracking in the film. Just they would say something and then immediately turn around and do something else. We'll go into more detail about that in the spoiler section, but very generalized, a lot of backtracking. They were just like, hey, we're gonna go do this. Actually, no, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna go do this.
Except for they didn't even say that part. They said,
just did
all
something
right,
else.
We're gonna go do this. And then no conversation, not even a glance, not even oh, well, maybe this would be a good idea. No, they just go, all right, we're going this direction. And I'm just like, what are you doing? That happens so many times where it's kind of are they doing this on purpose? Did they say
that they were supposed to why, wait, I thought we were gonna go.
Yeah. Did they have a different movie in mind when they were writing all the scenes where they're planning?
Yeah.
And then just were like, what if we change this? And they're like, well, we already wrote that part of the script. They're like,
oh, well, it's whatever. It's fine. Let's just do it. This would be so much cooler. Let's just do this. You know what would have been cooler? You know what would have been cooler? If they talked about it.
Yeah.
And then decided to do it. I'm like.
And then something happens and it snags up. And
then
actual
and there's
conflict.
actual reasoning behind all of it.
All the conflict is just do what you said you would have done.
Yeah.
And then you wouldn't have had this problem. You said the thing, and then you did a different thing. It's just bad. It's just so bad. I'm talking a lot with my hands. I'm very passionate about how much I hate this movie.
Okay, let's just touch on it a tiny bit.
Yeah,
a little bit of good things that we did see in it.
So the Celestials look cool, and
they do look very cool.
For part of the movie, for about, let's say, a minute and a half, I think, I forgot that I was watching a bad movie. When they were explaining the backstory of the Celestials and the Eternals, I was like, oh, that's so cool. I wonder how they're going to progress that. Oh, in a really dull and uninteresting way, I forgot this was a bad movie. Yeah.
Oh boy.
So for a minute there, you were like, the third act of this movie could be really good based off the way they're doing this.
Yeah.
No, it's just as bad as the first and second.
The Celestials did look really cool. It's very visually appealing. I think a lot of the movie was visually appealing, but again, we mentioned how that was because of the fact that they're just kind of everything's visually appealing, and that's the only way they're gonna do this. Whatever. There's one good character.
Yes.
There's one really funny character, and he's a completely side character, not even an Eternal. I'm touching this. Really funny guy, and it's Karun. if you've seen him in any of the ads or like the promotional material, he's just a really funny dude. I think he's the best character. He made me laugh multiple times.
Oh yeah, a few times, yeah.
Diversity in the movie, I think it's fantastic. I think we have a great diverse cast. We have all of these people. We have an Indian guy.
Yeah.
Multiple Indian people, and like how that it ties into the whole movie, and that makes me really happy as an Indian person with not a whole lot of representation in like American media, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
Which made me really happy. We also have a gay main character, super dope.
Super cool. We won't tell you which one. It's a surprise, non-spoiler section. All right.
We did have a mention of a gay character in Endgame.
Yes.
In Endgame, when Captain America was talking about it. Oh, and in Loki, yeah. But we have a main character who's gay, and I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
We also have like our main character being Asian, and a few other characters being from Latino backgrounds and other kinds of backgrounds.
Yeah.
And I just thought it's a really diverse cast, and I would have loved it so much. I would have loved it so much if it was actually a good movie with this cast.
Yeah.
I wish every movie had a cast just like this, and it was actually good.
Yeah, it seems like you either get, one side of it or the other as of right now. And honestly, I'm really glad that they had a gay character, because they couldn't have aired this movie in China. I wonder what they changed to air it in China.
Did they change it?
They had to have. I mean, China's not going to let that happen. That might be another reason why the gross is so bad.
Probably, yeah.
They might not have been aired in China because of that gay character.
Yeah.
Maybe. We'll see. We'll do more research, as we never do research. We only look up stats.
Yeah, we get angry, and then, we watch the movie, get angry, and then I spend the next 45 minutes in bed just going, this person's dumb for thinking this. Okay, whatever. All right, guy. All right. And then I look at the bad reviews, the 1-star reviews, I change it so I see the 1-star. Oh my God, you're so right. This is literally so true. What the heck?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I do after watching a really bad movie. Okay.
Spoiler
First
section.
of all, wait.
Wait, non-spoiler section?
No, I'm just saying that it's been 10 minutes. We've been like, go.
We've been going.
Yeah, but we should give a few seconds for.
Yes, 10 seconds. All right, 10 seconds. This is the spoiler section. We'll start it now. It's a bad movie. Don't watch this. Just watch the spoiler section, honestly.
Yeah, if you do, honestly. I'm probably just going to send this to all my friends.
Yeah. All right,
okay, it's been 10 seconds.
I'll start. We're going to go into very specific things, because if we don't organize our thoughts, we'll be here for hours.
Yeah, it has been 10 minutes. We can take our time now.
Yeah.
We don't have to worry about it as much.
So, there's a deaf character. The girl over there.
Makari.
Not this person, but the Makari, yes.
Makari.
The girl. She's deaf. It's said that she's deaf. She talks to people in sign language and is talked to in sign language, but there are scenes in this movie where they just don't speak in sign language to her, which you could say she's reading lips. Sure. She's on the other side of the room at one part, and other people are talking on this side of the room, and she bolts over to them and says, I know every word that you're saying because I can sense vibrations in the air. Even the slightest vibration I can sense. That's what ears do. That means you're not deaf. If you can sense vibrations, even if it's not with your ears, if it's with your body, and tell what someone is saying to you, or not even to you, to someone else. They were talking to someone else.
And we're going like...
They were whispering on the other side of the room. And she bolts over them and is like, I know what you were saying. It's like, are you deaf or are you not? Because that is a trait, like the super sensitive hearing is a trait you see in characters like Daredevil. Blind characters, not deaf ones.
I would like to say that I disagree with you in this.
Deaf characters don't have super hearing.
Okay. Now can I say it?
You can say it.
I disagree with him. I also, that was another thing on representation. We have a deaf character. She is deaf.
She's a deaf actress.
Yeah, she's a deaf actress.
I'm not ragging on it for being representation. Just don't represent the deaf person with super hearing. That seems a little bit out of place.
I get where he's coming from, but at the same time, I feel like they did do a fairly good job of showing that she's deaf and having people be there and having to sign to her, or her being able to read lips, stuff like that. I do see what you're saying. In that very specific scene, when they're like very specifically talking about the fact that she's deaf but can hear or sense things, it gets a little convoluted in that sense. Like, they only put the scene there so that people wouldn't be confused at the fact that she's being able to hear the conversation without it being signed every single time. But also, what bothers me is it feels to me as though whenever everybody split off, the only reason that we didn't see her side of it was because they didn't want to have to sign everything. Like, I feel like when they were making the movie, they were like, okay, if we have her in every scene, we're going to have to sign in every scene.
Yeah.
And I was like, in my opinion, she has the coolest power. She's one of the coolest characters.
She does have the coolest power. And the fact that she's deaf plays into her power with like the sonic
booms and stuff.
And she's not affected by the sonic booms because she's deaf.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
That's
I like
so
that.
cool. I really like her. Like, I think her power is super cool. The way that they did, like, a speedster's power, the way that they did that in this movie was so cool. Like, I've never, like...
We should have put that in the good things.
We should have put that in the good things. Like,
only her power is cool. Everyone else is boring.
No, I think Sprite's is cool.
Oh, Sprite's is cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe the powers are a little bit cool. Maybe we should
I
put
think
that
it's
in the
just
non-spoiler
Sprite
section.
and Makari.
All the other ones are pretty generic and boring.
Who else? Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
well,
Okay.
whatever.
We'll get on to your side.
This one irks me to no end. At what point do you know, before Icarus comes out as the bad guy, at what point before that do Sprite and him have any kind of connection?
No, and it's not even at that point.
I'm just asking, like, in general.
They say it. They just say it.
Yeah.
Like, they don't do anything else.
Somewhere in the middle of the movie or something, Kingo, Indian guy, lovely. He comes out to someone and is just like, he's talking to Sprite, and he's just like, I know you're in love with Icarus.
We're like the Lost Boys from Peter Pan.
Yeah, like, first of all, what? Like, we're just like, wait, Sprite's in love with Icarus? And we were just like, okay, whatever, Sprite's in love with Icarus. So what? Moving on. And then as we were thinking about it, we we're just like,
they don't have a scene together.
They don't have they have one scene together, and that's right after Ajax dies, and Sprite's just like, this is the last time I spent with him.
Who Icarus killed.
Who Icarus
and no
literally
one cares.
killed.
No one cares.
Like Sprite is literally sitting there devastated because she was the one who was living with Ajax for the longest until very recently when she moved in with Cersei, and then it comes out that Icarus is the one who killed Ajax.
The fact that Icarus killed Ajax should have been, the one most affected by that should have been Sprite.
Sprite, literally. And then she was just like, nah,
No.
I have a crush on him, so I'm gonna go with him instead of literally everybody else that you spent the most of your time with. I mean, think about it. The entire time that Icarus and Cersei were together, they were not with Ajax, or with Ajax and Sprite.
Yeah.
And Ajax and Sprite were together. And then the second that Icarus leaves, Cersei comes back to Sprite, and her and Sprite go off, leaving Ajax alone. Icarus comes and kills Ajax. They come back, and Sprite's just in love with Icarus.
For some reason?
For some reason.
All right. Yeah.
And then, like, there's just so much on with that whole romance about how, like, Sprite just goes and, like, betrays Cersei for Icarus.
Bad.
It's like, where did that even come from? First of all, there's no chemistry or any kind of, like, I don't know, relationship between them. It's just really weird.
No. All right. So, obvious twist villain is my
Again.
next complaint. Anyone who flies like Icarus does and has laser eyes in recent years has been a villain. No one flies like that and is a superhero. The moment he took off and, like, I saw how he flew and saw how his laser vision worked, I was like, oh, that's the twist bad guy. Like, the first scene, I was like, oh, yeah, that aesthetic, that kind of, like, thing that you do, that's the bad guy. If you fly with your arms relaxed down here, you're a villain.
Superman.
It's how villains fly. It's how Darkseid flew. It's how the guy in, well, I'm not going to spoil that, actually. I don't want to spoil anything. It's how bad guys fly. It's how twist villains fly. If you're going to write a twist villain and he has the power of flying, make him fly like this. And everyone will know. I'll know at least. Obvious twist villain. I mean, from the first scene, even when I saw him in the trailer, I was like, oh, that's a cool villain design. No, he's on the promotional material as a hero. Oh, okay, well, even from the promotional material, I was like, that guy's going to be a villain. Just look at it. just look at it. And it's just aesthetically, villain clicked in my mind immediately. So maybe it wasn't obvious for everyone else, but, you know, it was obvious to me.
It wasn't obvious for me.
It was pretty obvious to me. All right.
I guess it makes the most sense. Okay, Druid, him.
Yes.
He has this extremely powerful power, right?
Yes, mind control.
Mind control. So he's supposed to be the one to put the Celestial to sleep, right?
To sleep, mind you. Everyone, Cersei was the one that was like, we can't kill it. Keep that in mind while she talks about this.
So he was the one who had like, they did so, like, halfway through the movie when they decided that they were going to get rid of the Celestial, they were like, well, we need Druid. We need Druid. We need Druid. We can't do this without Druid. They go and get Druid.
He gets
right?
dropped.
We go there, we get him after all of this like convincing, and also he dies trying to do that. Gilgamesh dies trying to get Druid, basically. Yeah. All of this stuff happens to get Druid, and then they go to the Celestial. Druid takes one hit, out, done.
Well, he comes back, but he can't. He
comes back and he's like, yeah, never mind, I can't do it.
So he half did it, got hit once. Comes
Came back,
and we were like, okay, good, he can do it now. And he goes,
nah.
You have to do it, Cersei. I'm not strong enough. You only half did it, bro.
Yeah.
You only half did it. What are you talking about? Like, what?
We're just like, why? Why can't you do it? It would be like, it would make the absolute most sense for you to do it still, regardless of your one hit.
Yeah. And then Cersei just kills it.
After multiple times of her saying, nah, I'm not going to do it. No, I can't do it. I can't do it. You don't understand. I can't do it.
So many scenes, she just repeats herself. I can't kill the Celestial Druid. We have to make it go
and
to
she
sleep.
had this whole yelling match
about
with Thena or someone
the
about why she can't do it. And then she just goes and do it.
And then no one really bats an eye at it. No one thinks about it. She doesn't even seem to care.
Yeah.
She's just like, well, goal accomplished. It's like, that wasn't the goal. This should be an emotional moment for you.
Also,
you just killed something that you didn't want to kill.
Yeah, and like the whole thing about Cersei's power is that she can't change living creatures, right? And she does it one time because she was like about to die or whatever. Also, she did it one time after 7,000 years. After the 7,000 years of never having done it before.
Was it 7,000 years or was it some other number?
We don't know. But yeah, she did it like randomly. They talk about it like once.
Yeah.
When Phastos brings it, or well, someone mentions it to Phastos, and Phastos is like, "Why didn't you tell me that? That's important knowledge for me." Phastos is also a really funny character. Side note, he's like probably one of my favorite characters. Phastos.
Black one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah.
He's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's really cool. Honestly, when he was on screen, I was like,
yeah.
You warmed me up. You're nice.
Yeah, you're so nice.
You're such a teddy bear. I want to hug you.
He's so nice.
He's such a sweet guy.
That very awkward moment.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Okay, we won't bring that up.
Funny. It's not funny.
It's not funny, so we won't bring it up. But
regardless.
I'll talk about this, and then we'll go quickly through these last two. What's it? Kingo. Kingo knows Thor? Question mark? Thor is 1,500 years old. We looked it up. 1,500. That's 1,500 for those out there that don't know 1,500. That's 1,500 years old. They've been there for 7,000 years. One of the main plot points of this movie is that they haven't left Earth in 7,000 years.
Why? Because they had to take care of what's their names?
Yeah. The humans. The deviants.
Deviants.
So 7,000 years, they've been here for 7,000 years. They haven't left Earth in 7,000 years. Thor's 1,500 years old. He was born while they were on Earth. And Kingo knew him when he was a kid? Thor didn't come to Earth, or even Midgard, until he was an adult in 2011. So, no, Kingo, you didn't know Thor when he was a kid. And even if you think that's an implanted memory by the Celestials, if you're going, Garrett, you're overreacting, it's obviously an implanted memory. The Celestial would have no idea who Thor was because he wasn't even born when they were implanting the memories into Kingo. Wasn't even born yet. So, no person who won't make that point because they already know that point. It's not an implanted memory. And he didn't know Thor.
Very random.
Why did he say he knew Thor? Because Thor is in this universe, and if Thor's in this universe, then he must have had some way of knowing him.
Also, if he knew
Incorrect.
Thor knew him.
And also didn't mention it.
And
in
never
the MCU.
mentioned it.
Never mentioned it.
Never mentioned it. Never
All
once.
right, we'll go through this one a little bit quicker.
In the end, Kingo ended up agreeing with Icarus about the whole situation, about how they were made there to be there by the Celestial or whatever.
Which seems sort of random. All of their alignments seem sort of random when Icarus revealed himself to be the villain.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. Because there was no like backstory on them. The only backstory we get on Icarus's and Cersei's relationship. That's it.
Yeah. Nothing.
Whatever. So Kingo decides that he's gonna stay, or just leave. Sorry, he's gonna leave.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't agree with Cersei. He just agrees with like Icarus, but he doesn't want to fight Cersei or any of the other ones to get what like he wants, I guess, or like what is supposed to happen. He just leaves for the final fight. The entire final fight, one of the Eternals is just not there. One of the ones that hasn't died
And
yet.
even when they do the brain melding thing, there's no line going to him.
What?
And the whole point is that all
of the Eternals
have, like, all the living Eternals have to be part of it, and he's just not part of it.
Yeah. So
All right,
like, what's the deal with that?
let's
I would love to know.
let's get to the final number review, and then we'll give our final remarks, and then we'll wrap up this episode and reveal when we'll be back and what movie we'll be doing. All right.
When we'll be back?
I don't think.
That's a really good question. We can't do it.
We'll yeah.
Wait, I don't want to see yours.
Okay.
Because I'm going to get ideas. I can't draw, so bear with me on that one. Oh, God. Alicia, hello.
Am I
I
being too
really can't
hard?
draw.
I can't draw either. All right. Wait, did you see mine?
No.
Okay.
Go ahead and explain yours, because I really can't draw.
All right.
That's my biggest issue right now.
3 stink lines out
Oh,
of
man.
100 retcons. That's 3%.
How
on
did you
this
draw
movie.
that?
A retcon?
Yeah.
It's like the thing that they draw in Inception, where they're just like the dream within a dream within a dream. That thing.
Mine's a little bit nicer, don't worry.
3 stink lines and
Except
10
I still
retcons.
can't draw.
This is the worst Marvel movie, possibly the worst movie I've seen in 2021, and I saw Jungle Cruise. This is bad. The good things we said about it were being nice, so that we didn't sound so mean. Did I love the Celestials' design, and do I want to see them again? Not particularly. Did that one moment of the movie that I thought, this might actually be good, save the movie? No. I might rewatch that clip to get a bit more information on the Celestials if they come back in the MCU. Aside from that, this movie could leave my brain and the MCU for all I care, and I would be better for it.
Okay, I can't draw. I would like to preface by
Okay. All right, just show them.
Okay, it's 3 deviant out of 10 Eternals, this is the fast one that
That's
runs.
the fast one, that's wrong.
Yeah, and that's my deviant. Oh, you did 3 too. I didn't
I
even
did 3
listen.
out of 100.
Oh.
You did 3 out of 10. You gave it 10 times as high as I did.
Okay, well you're mean. Anyway, I gave it 3 out of 10. One of these 3 is for I have okay, one of them's for Makari, one of them's for Fastos, one of them's for
Oh, Karun?
Yes,
And
then,
those were my 3 too, actually.
and then one of them in my heart is for Harry Styles because he was in it.
Oh yeah, the end credit scenes. Harry
Yeah.
Styles going to be in the MCU for 5 movies. He's Thanos' brother and simultaneously a robot. And then the Ebony Blade with Blade. That's really cool. I like that. We'll
Harry
wrap it up here.
Styles.
We will-
Pretty. Wait, I didn't even get to say it.
Oh yes.
3 out of 10. It wasn't a very good movie. It was kind of just bad plot-wise. It was pretty, yes. It was entertaining in some places. By entertaining, I mean funny because of the 3 characters that I mentioned. Also, really quick side note, Druid and Makari have the most chemistry. And they're not even like a plot point at all. Like at all.
No.
They have the most chemistry.
And it's kind of annoying that they do because I don't like Druig's character. And anytime the character with the cool power was talking to him, I was like, no, don't. That guy's weird. don't talk to that guy. He's so creepy.
They
and
had the
weird.
most chemistry.
Yeah.
It's like, it made me like, whoo, lordy, because I was just like, Makari, girl, what you doing?
All right. We have 1 minute.
Okay.
Okay, real quick. We will be back next semester. We can't make another one.
We can make one more before. We just
can
have
make one
Thanksgiving
more?
break.
We can make one. We might be able to make one more. Anyway, we'll be back soon. If not next semester with Spider-Man: No Way Home, we will be
Hopefully.
back next week with a movie that's a little bit of a surprise, and we're gonna do a Christmas movie. I haven't even told her yet, but we'll be back with that movie.
Yay!
And yeah, that's the episode. We
All
look forward to
right.
seeing you next time.
Bye.